Hey, what's up you guys? Megan here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all about my Common App and my supplement essays. And for those of you who don't know, I am a first year at the University of Virginia, or UVA, and I'm just going to kind of be sharing with you my tips and tricks that I gathered over the college process to hopefully help you, whether you're in the college process now, applying to regular decision schools, or in the future applying to any of the type of schools. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. This was actually really requested, so if you guys have any more college video requests, be sure to leave them down below, and let's get right on into this video. So before we start off, I just would like to say I've already made a video about my journey to UVA, how I got in here, where else I got in, my test scores, my experience, my activities, all that stuff is in a whole separate video. I'll link it down below. This is just going to be about the essays, and so I have all my notes on my phone that I'm going to be talking about, but essentially I'm talking about the Common App and the supplements, and they're two separate things. And for those of y'all who don't know, the Common App is like how a lot of schools, especially many of the ones I applied to, such as I know Alabama's on there, there's UVA, I know William & Mary was on there, U of R, stuff like that. Those are all going to be on there. Now, not every school's on the Common App, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but basically you just fill out all your information once, and you do the essay, and then usually schools will have separate supplement essays that you have to write in addition to all of that. So I'm going to be talking about both of those today. For the Common App, there's actually like 6 or 7 questions that you choose to answer, and my first tip is to not actually choose the question before you write the essay. Pretty much every essay that you could write will answer one of the questions because they're so broad. So don't focus so much on the question. Of course, you can get inspiration from the different questions and just trying to come up with answers for that, but I'd focus more on your essay than answering the actual question. The hardest part for writing the Common App essay is creating a topic, because it's like you're forced to talk about in this essay in 650 to 700 words, I forget how much. It's like something that changed your life. And for me, if you're anything like me, I was like, what the heck? I mean, nothing has really happened, at least on the surface level, that I was thinking about was like, oh, that like changed my life, you know? And I feel like a lot of my friends had the same problem, and in the end we all came up with essays, so it's fine. But it was just really hard at first, just starting off. And especially with me, I'm a major procrastinator, and this is like the one thing in my entire life that I didn't procrastinate, but it's just like finding that topic to talk about for like all of these essays is just so hard. So what I recommend doing is I took an essay class with this woman. She also ended up actually being my essay tutor as well a few times after that class to help me polish up on my Common App. But essentially she had us do like a trigger list where it's like your favorite activity, your favorite thing that you've done, your favorite memory at like this place, or your favorite vacation, like stuff like that. You can talk about that. That can kind of get your mind going about stuff that you've done. But then also I'd like to, like, once I came up with some ideas, I used like 4 or 5 of those, and for 10 or 20 minutes I just write about them. They don't have to be coherent, nothing has to work, you just ideas, something that comes to mind. It's basically just a brain dump, so that at the end of all of those 4 or 5 topics you go through and you say, oh, I feel really passionately about this one, or like I really want to go into depth more about this one, or think about even how it impacted you beyond just that moment. And so for me, the way that I structured my essay, which I think personally worked very well for what I was talking about, is I started with something to draw you in, which any good essay should do, but also it started in the micro and went to the macro. So a lot of essays should do this, I believe, at least for the Common App. And basically I took this little moment and I talked about it briefly, and that's the thing. You want to focus less on the story and more on the analysis / how it made you feel, etc., etc. You want to focus more on that, because that's where the college is really going to get to know you and not just some story that happened to you, right? So basically in mine, I talked about how a defendant asked me whether or not he should take the guilty plea, and how that influenced the way that he picked. And then upon further thinking about that, because I described this to this woman who was my essay tutor, and I was like, I don't know, like I guess maybe, and then I was like, wait a second, like this totally did change my view, because maybe it wasn't just in this moment, but this moment led to other moments, which led to other moments, which made me realize at the end of my internship that I did just how much like my view of justice had changed. And so that's kind of what the whole essay was about. But I explained the story pretty briefly. It was about maybe a third of my essay, and then the last 2/3 is like, wow, like maybe I am more like this guy than I thought. It's not like we're so separate, but we are, and like maybe it's more nuanced than I thought. Basically, that's the gist. And then you really want to focus on how it impacted you, and how it changed your view of the world, because I feel like pretty much any essay, that's what you're getting at. I feel like no matter what you write, that's generally some kind of conclusion. It changed me, it changed the way you view this, it changed this, something changed, and that's why it had an impact on you. So I think that's, if you focus on that, you'll be good to go. And then the last thing I suggest you do in the Common App is tie it all back together, and somehow reference the beginning or what you were talking about originally or something like that, to make sure that the reader really knows that it's come full circle. Then as for supplements, these are a little bit different because one, they're about half to a quarter of the word count of the Common App, but also they're like school specific. So I want to say, honestly, in my opinion, I think the supplements are more important than the Common App essay, because no matter your test scores, no matter your Common App, no matter what, like you're applying to this school for a reason, and whether like you really want to or not, that's a different thing. But it's like the school can kind of tell when you've put in the effort, the same effort you've put into the Common App as you have the supplements. So if it's not there and it's not even, they can kind of tell, oh, maybe they don't actually want to go here, you know? So I think it's really important to be putting in the effort to the supplements, especially for me, for UVA. I'm going to talk about those just because, one, I know those ones the best. I worked the hardest on those, but also because that's where I am right now. There were 2 supplement essays that you should write. There was one required for your school that you were in. I'm in the College of Arts and Sciences, and so there was a required one, and so I talked about a book that my internship mentor had actually got me, and it was about, it was called You Have the Right to Remain Innocent. I highly recommend if you're interested in law, but it's basically kind of tied into my Common App, but it wasn't the same. So it was like similar themes, so I kind of created a theme for myself, which I think is really important, but it was not the same, so not the same thing. And then I also talked about, I did the quirk essay. There's like 4 to choose from for like the fun ones, and I made it fun because I wanted to show that I'm not just some serious person, because if you know me in real life or even on this channel, like I'm not really a serious person. So I talked about my love for this local custard shop and just how that's kind of always been like the place I can come back to during the good times and the bad, and it was far more eloquent than that, but basically that's what I wrote about. So kind of showing that you have this theme to you, but also that you have like different sides to you and you're not just like a one-dimensional person. I think that's really the point of the essays, and that's really why they're so important to just getting the college to get to know you. I really hope that these tips were helpful. If you guys do want more tips about essay writing or the activities for the Common App or anything college related, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know. If you guys are new, I invite you to subscribe down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!